You just crushed your health tech demo. The prospect loved your solution. They asked amazing questions. Everybody was nodding and smiling. You're thinking, this is a done deal. And then you fast forward 2 weeks later, and there's complete radio silence. The statistics don't lie. 73% of prospects who engage with your demo will never respond to you again. And while you're waiting for them to get back to you, your pipeline is stalling, your forecast is becoming fiction, and your investors are asking uncomfortable questions. The culprit, though, is not about follow-up. It's most likely how you structure the deal. But don't worry, all is not lost. I'm here to show you a proven framework to fix it. Hey, I'm Doree, and I'm going to show you what creates this post-demo dead zone, 3 critical mistakes that send your deals there, and the specific strategies that'll keep your pipeline moving. By the end of this video, you'll know exactly how to spot the 5 warning signs that a deal is entering the dead zone, what to do when it happens, and how to build a process that prevents it from happening in the first place. Let's go. All right, so what actually creates this dead zone? The dead zone is baked into how healthcare organizations buy technology. Let me break down the 3 forces that are working against you. First, you're dealing with massive buying committees. As you know, health tech deals involve at least 10 to 12 stakeholders. Your champion needs sign-off from clinical staff who validate workflow impact, IT teams assessing technical integration, compliance officers reviewing HIPAA implications, finance demanding ROI justification, and C-suite executives evaluating the strategic fit. Your single point of contact has way less power than you think. They can love your product or service, but they can't move forward alone. Second, procurement cycles in healthcare move at a glacial pace. These organizations operate on budget cycles that don't match your timeline. Large purchases need alignment from at least 5 key stakeholders, and 86% of B2B purchases stall during the buying process. The typical cycle spans a year, with most delays happening after the demo. Capital requests often sit waiting for the next quarterly or annual board meeting. You might be ready to close, but your prospect won't even see the available budget until Q3. Third, healthcare organizations are incredibly risk averse, and for good reason. Healthcare buyers face real career risk when new technology fails. HIPAA compliance, patient safety, and data security are concerns that go way beyond the typical software fears. 73% of healthcare IT leaders cite security challenges and implementation risk as their main reasons for delaying purchases. The status quo feels safer than change, even when change would dramatically help them. So why does your champion go radio silent after an amazing demo? Well, there's 3 main reasons. First, your champion lacks the internal buy-in from key stakeholders. Here's what probably happened. They saw your solution and got excited and scheduled a demo without building consensus first. Clinical staff and IT teams and even compliance officers weren't in the room during your presentation. So now your champion is trying to sell internally without your help or materials. They're attempting to recreate your demo in conference rooms and Slack channels. And honestly, they're failing. They don't have your expertise or sales enablement resources. They're fighting battles that you don't even know about, and they're losing ground every day. But wait, it gets worse. They can't build the business case because your ROI explanation doesn't translate neatly into their company's internal budget language. Finance teams will shoot down proposals that lack concrete financial justification. These are proposals that are specifically rejected because of a lack of financial justification. Also, your champion needs specific numbers. Cost savings expressed in their organization's actual spend, efficiency gains measured in hours saved, and revenue impact tied to reimbursement rates. The generic industry benchmarks just won't cut it. They need specifics. You need to quantify the problem that you're solving in the terms that their CFO actually cares about, and they don't know how. And number 3, which should be very obvious, is that your champion can be completely overwhelmed. If you didn't create a mutual action plan for next steps after the demo, then your champion doesn't have a clue what to do next or who needs to do it. The path from demo to contract seems really unclear and, frankly, very complicated. They're thinking, what do I need? Do I need security documentation first? Should I schedule an IT interview? Who builds the business case? What approvals are required, and in what order do I do them? While they're trying to figure this out, other priorities are competing for their attention. And guess what slides down the list? You got it, your demo. All right, so now that we know what your champion is going through, let me give you 5 warning signs that your deal is entering the dead zone. But if you can catch these early, you could still save it. Number 1, your champion stops responding within 48 hours of the demo. Response times can stretch from hours into days, right? Messages shift from specific to vague. This pattern shows up in 89% of deals that eventually go dark. New stakeholders show up who weren't in your initial process. Someone from IT, legal, or procurement suddenly has questions and they're starting with zero context. The timeline becomes flexible and unclear. Dates slip without explanation, and your prospect stops committing to specific next steps. Requests for information become repetitive or circular. You're answering the same questions multiple times for different people. Your champion asks you to please be patient or give it some time. Generic stall language replaces specific action commitments. This isn't about patience, this is avoidance. Unfortunately, most health tech sales teams create their own dead zone problems. And to prove it, let me show you the 3 biggest mistakes that are probably killing your deals right now. First, you don't map the decision process before the demo. Most salespeople demo before understanding the approval process. You don't know who makes the final call or who controls the budget. Critical stakeholders aren't identified until after you've presented the demo, which means that you may have built your entire pitch for the wrong audience. An analysis of B2B health tech deals shows that sales teams who map the complete buying committee during discovery close deals 2.3 times faster than those who don't. Your discovery process is probably skipping the most important question, which is, how does your organization actually buy? You're basically treating demos like the closing event instead of something that comes in the middle of the process, which is what it really is. And that leads me right into mistake number 2. The demo becomes your peak moment instead of a milestone. You celebrate interest in your product or service without securing commitment to next actions. Your prospect leaves with information but zero obligations. There's no scheduled follow-up, no agreed upon timeline, and no documented next steps. You're missing 4 critical elements: commitment to specific next actions with dates, agreement on who needs to be involved going forward, documentation of the decision process and timeline, and accountability for both your tasks and theirs. You haven't earned a right to ask for these commitments yet, so you don't ask. Then you're surprised when they ghost you. And then we have number 3. You don't create any urgency around the problem. When your demo focuses on features instead of the cost of inaction, prospects feel no pressure to change. You haven't quantified what happens with staying with the status quo. What does it cost them in dollars, in patient outcomes, in staff burnout, or competitive disadvantage? Because there's no compelling event to push the decision timeline along, then nothing seems urgent and your deal dies in the queue. All right, this is what you've been waiting for. Let's go over your playbook to solve all these issues. First, when a deal goes dark, use a breakup email. You want to acknowledge that silence, that ghosting, professionally. Give them permission to say no and create urgency by suggesting that you're about to move on. This breakup email will generate responses in 40 to 60% of dark deals. But what's better than fixing a dead deal or a dying deal is to prevent it in the first place. So 2, build a mutual action plan before you demo. Document every step with specific dates and named owners. B2B deals with mutual action plans close 33% faster at 28% higher win rates. Next, you want to involve your stakeholders, all of your stakeholders, early in the process. Map your buying committee during discovery, not after the demo. Schedule separate sessions for different stakeholder groups. And make the business case impossible to ignore. Translate your value into their specific metrics using their actual data. Show them the cost of delays in concrete quarterly terms. The companies that are winning in health tech sales know that the demo isn't the finish line. It's like mile marker 5 in a marathon. And then they design their sales process to bridge the gap between demo and decision. The dead zone kills more health tech deals than pricing, competition, or product gaps. But you can control the process, even though you can't control health tech buying cycles. The companies that win make it easy for champions to sell internally, and they never let a deal go dark without a fight. I have a resource to help you. If you want to diagnose exactly where your deals are stalling, I've created a free resource called the 5-Day Health Tech Sales Audit. It's a free 5-day educational email course to help you find the leaks in your pipeline so deals stop going dark. You'll get a day-by-day breakdown of exactly what to analyze, from conversion rates to stakeholder gaps to process breakdowns. The link is in the description, so grab it, run the audit this week, and let me know what happens. Go on and fix that dead zone, and I will see you in the course.